Bible study with Marlene. Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you to my 2 viewers. I know it's not a lot of y'all right now because I'm just getting started, but trust and believe that we're going to get there. All right, so today we're reading the book of Esther. Yesterday we read chapters 1, 2, and 3, but today we're going to move on to chapter 4, where Esther agrees to help the Jews. So if you have not seen my last video, go and watch that first, and then you can be all caught up to where we are now. All right, so get your Bibles up, go to Esther chapter 4, and let's get started. I'm actually so excited to read this because I really wanted to keep reading yesterday, but I was like, no, like I got stuff to do. We're gonna finish this another day, and here we are, another day. Okay, so as we all know, the Jews are being not persecuted, but they're going to be killed because not the new ruler, but one of the king's head people, his name is Haman. He is up against the Jews because someone named Mordecai, which is Esther's family, Mordecai didn't bow down to him once he got his higher place on the throne, and he told him that he was a Jew. And I guess Haman was saying that the Jews don't respect the king's authorities and they might not do that. So they're out for the Jews, all the Jews. So I guess this is when Esther agrees to come in and help the Jews. Okay. So when Mordecai learned all that happened, he tore his clothes and put on sackcloth and ashes and went out into the midst of the city. He cried out with a loud and bitter cry. He went as far as the front of the king's gate, for no one might enter the king's gate cloth with sackcloth. And in every province where the king's command and decree arrived, there was great mourning among the Jews, with fasting, weeping, wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. So basically the Jews have heard the news that they are out to be eliminated, and they're all fasting, weeping, and wailing. Okay, so Esther's maids and eunuchs came and told her, and the queen was deeply distressed. Then she sent garments to clothe Mordecai and to take the sackcloth away from him, but he would not accept them. Then Esther called Hathach, one of the king's eunuchs, whom he had appointed to attend her, and she gave him a command concerning Mordecai, to learn what and why this was. So this is Esther's first time finding out like what's going on right now with Mordecai. She sent him some clothes thinking that he was in need and he didn't accept them. So now she's trying to figure out what's going on, like exactly what's going on. So Hathach, I don't know how to say these names, y'all, but bear with me, went out to Mordecai in the city square that was in front of the king's gate, and Mordecai told him all that happened to him and the sum of money that Haman had promised to pay into the king's treasurers to destroy the Jews. So remember, Mordecai said that he would pay whoever 10,000 gold or silver to destroy the Jews. So Mordecai is telling them what happened. He also gave him a copy of the written decree for their destruction, which was given to Shushan, so that he might show it to Esther and explain it to her, and that he might command her to go into the king to make supplication to him and plead before him for people. So there's a written document, like this is official, that they were going to go out and destroy the Jews, and he was going to give this paper to Esther, so hoping that she can help during this process. So Hathach returned and told Esther the words of Mordecai. Then Esther spoke to Hathach and gave him a command for Mordecai. All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces know that any man or woman who goes in the inner court of the king who has not been called, he has but one law: put all to death except one to whom the king holds out the golden scepter, that he may live. Yet I myself have not been called to go into the king these 30 days. So they told Mordecai Esther's words, and Mordecai told them to Esther, Do do not think in the heart that you will escape the king's palace any more than all the other Jews. Excuse me. For if you remain completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place, but you and your father's house will perish. Yet, who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such time as this? Then Esther told them to reply to Mordecai, Go and gather all the Jews that are present in Shushan and fast for me. Neither eat nor drink for 3 days, night and day. My maids and I will fast likewise. So I will go to the king, which is against the law, and if I perish, I perish. So Esther's telling them to go and fast. This is a crucial time where we need deliverance and answers. So, fasting can get you those things. So they're going to fast, she's going to fast, and they're hoping for something to happen that will help out the Jews. Okay, so this next section is chapter 5, and it's labeled Esther's Banquet. Now it happened on the 3rd day that Esther put on her royal robes and stood in the inner court of the king's palace, across from the king's house, while the king sat on his royal throne in the royal house facing the entrance of the house. So it was, when the king saw Queen Esther standing in the court, that she found favor in his sight, and the king held to Esther's golden scepter that was in his hand. Then Esther went near and touched the top of the scepter, and the king said to her, What do you wish, Queen Esther? What is your request? It shall be given to you, up half the kingdom. So Esther's going up, and the king is telling her, what is your request? It will be given to you. Not knowing that she's about to request to help the Jews. This is probably the last thing that he would expect from her, knowing that she's not a Jew. He doesn't know that, but I think that she is a Jew. I explained that earlier because Mordecai is her family, and Mordecai's a Jew, so doesn't that make Esther a Jew too? But let's continue. So Esther answered, If it pleases the king, let the king and Haman come today to the banquet that I have prepared for them. Then the king said, Bring Haman quickly, that he may do as Esther has said. So the king and Haman went to the banquet that Esther prepared. At the banquet of wine, the king said to Esther, I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know why I keep yawning. I'm not even that tired, but we're good. What is your request? Up half the kingdom, it shall be done. Then Esther answered and said, this is what she said, this is her request. My petition and request is this. If I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it pleases the king to grant my petition and my full request, then let the king and Haman come to the banquet, which I will prepare for them tomorrow. I will do as the king has said. So she's telling them, come to the banquet. I want y'all to come to the banquet. All right, this is still a part of chapter 5, but the little heading says Haman's plot against Mordecai. So let's see. So Haman went out the day joyful and with a glad heart, but when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, and that he did not stand or tremble before him, he was filled with indignation against Mordecai. So y'all know Mordecai at the beginning, Mordecai didn't bow down to Haman once he got his higher place in the kingdom, and he still didn't bow down to him. So this made Haman furious. You still trying me? That's basically what he's saying. He's furious right now. So nevertheless, Haman restrained himself and went home. So Haman's like, ooh, I gotta get up out of here. For I really, And he sent and called for his friends and his wife Zeresh. Then Haman told them of his great riches, the multitude of his children, everything in which king had promoted him. Now he had advanced him above the officials and servants of the king. Moreover, Haman said, besides, Queen Esther invited no one but me to come with the king to the banquet that she prepared. And tomorrow I am invited by her along with the king. Yet all this avails me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai, the Jew, sitting at the king's gate. So he's like, why is this guy sitting at the gate? He already didn't bow down to me, and now he's sitting at the gate. Now I feel disrespected. Like, he feels disrespected. Why is he sitting at the gate? Where did I go? Yes. Then his wife Zeresh and all his friends said to him, let a gallows be made 50 cubits high, and in the morning suggest to the king that Mordecai be hanged on it. Then go merrily with the king to the banquet. And the thing pleased Haman, so he had the gallows made. So now they're making the gallows, and Haman's going to go to the king and request that Mordecai is hanged. So, all right, now this is chapter 6. We did 4, 5. Now we're doing 6. Let me see how long 6 is. We might stop at 6. Oh, I think we might stop at 7. Because chapter 8 says Esther saves the Jews, and that's going to be something that I want to save for another video. So we're going to stop at chapter 7. We're on chapter 6 right now. The king honors Mordecai. Oh, the king honors Mordecai. Wait, what? Okay. The king honors Mordecai. I thought it was going to say the king honors Haman. Sorry, my sinus is released. Yeah. That night the king could not sleep. So one was commanded to bring the book of the records of Chronicles, and they were read before the king. And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, the two of King Anuchis, that the doorkeepers who had sought to lay hands on the king. Then the king said, what honor and dignity has been bestowed on Mordecai for this? Oh, so Mordecai is finally getting his recognition. Remember, I was like, in the last video, I was saying how hopefully Mordecai is like excluded, and considering that he saved the king's life, letting him know that there was 2 people who were trying to lay hands on him. So basically, the king is saying, so what honor and dignity has Mordecai been giving for this time? Like, what are we going to give him because he saved my life? Something like that. Yeah, so what honor and dignity has been bestowed on Mordecai for this? And the king's servant who attended him said, nothing has been done for him. Like, y'all didn't do anything. Like, he saved your life. He told you that there was 2 people trying to lay hands on you, and y'all didn't do nothing for him. Nothing's been done. Okay. So the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman just entered the outer court of the king's palace to suggest that the king hang Mordecai on gallows that he prepared for them. So now Haman's coming in, not even knowing that the king is trying to honor Mordecai. That's crazy. That is crazy. Okay. So the king's servant said to him, Haman is there, standing in the court. And the king said, let him come in. Come on in, Haman. So Haman came in, and the king asked, what shall be done for the man who the king delights to honor? Ooh. Okay. So now Haman thought in his heart, whom would the king delight to honor more than me? He's trying to figure out, who is this person about to be honored? You just put me on a throne, so why is somebody already about to be honored? Like, little does he know, it's the guy that he's trying to hang. It's the guy that he's trying to hang. And Haman answered the king, for the man who the king delights to honor, let a royal robe be brought with which the king has worn, and a horse on which the king has ridden, which has a royal crest placed on his head. Then let the robe and the horse be delivered into the hand of the one that the king's most noble princess, that he may array the man who the king delights to honor. So, not knowing that the king wants to honor Mordecai, Haman's saying, oh, give him a robe, give him a crown, give him a horse. He don't even know. He don't even know. He don't even know. Okay, let me see. Then parade him on the horseback through the city square. They're going to give him a parade and proclaim before him that thus shall it be done to the man who the king delights to honor. Then the king said to Haman, hurry, take the robe and the horse as you have suggested, and do so for Mordecai the Jew who sits within the king's gate. Leave nothing undone, all that you have spoken. So the king finally said Mordecai's name. Mind you, he said all that you have spoken. So Haman, you put this on yourself, not even knowing who the person that the king was trying to honor. Now the king is telling him, go do it now. The king has requests now, so now you have to do it. Okay. This is so crazy. Okay. So Haman took the robe and the horse and arrayed Mordecai and led him on a horseback through the city square and proclaimed to him, thus shall it be done to the man who the king honors. So Haman, I guess he put it all behind him at this time. Mind you, the king is the king, so he got a request. He has to honor what the king has said, and I'm surprised he didn't say anything about it. That was a safe move, Haman. That was a safe move. Afterward, Mordecai went back to the king's gate, but Haman hurried to his house mourning with his head covered. Oh. Haman is done. He's like, when Haman told his wife Zestress and all his friends everything happened to him, his wise men and his wife said to him, if Mordecai, before whom you have begun to fall, is of Jewish descent, you will not prevail against him, but will surely fall before him. While they were still talking to him, the king's eunuch came and hastened to bring Haman to the banquet that Esther prepared. So his family is like, well, we can't really do anything about this. You have to honor him now. Y'all already paraded him through the city. I know you're upset because you wanted to hang him, but now you got to get ready for this banquet. Smile in front of people. Okay, so this is chapter 7. We are stopping we're stopping after chapter 7. We're going to read chapter 7. So the heading of this says, Haman hanged instead of... Ooh, it says Haman hanged instead of Mordecai. Oh, dang, Haman. Now, I wasn't a big fan of Haman, but dang, bro. Haman. So the king and Haman went to dine with Queen Esther. And on the second day, at the banquet of wine, the king again said to Esther, what is your petition, Queen Esther? It shall be granted to you. And what is your request? Up to half of the kingdom? It shall be done. So Esther is getting, her treatment as she should, as a queen should. Clock it. Then Queen Esther answered and said, if I have found favor in your sight... Oh my gosh, I love how she's reiterating, you said I have favor. She keeps saying this before she brings her request to him. If I have found favor in your sight, O king, and if it pleases the king, let my life be given me a petition, and my people at request, my people. Ooh. For what we have been sold, my people and I, to be destroyed and to be killed and to be annihilated. So now she's saying, my people. Queen Esther is also a Jew. She said, my people. I love this so much. I'm so glad I read this story. So, had we been sold as male and female slaves, I would held my tongue, although the enemy could never compensate for the king's loss. So King answered and said to Queen Esther, who is he and where is he? Who would dare presume in his heart to do such thing? So he's trying to find out who this person that's trying to eliminate the people. King, don't you remember you gave Haman the authority to... Did we not? Okay. Okay. So Esther said, the advisory and the enemy is the wicked Haman. She's telling on Haman. It's Haman. So Haman was terrified before the king and queen. He was trembling in his boots. Then the king arose his wrath from the banquet of wine and went to the palace of the garden. But Haman stood before Queen Esther and pleaded for his life. He said, please. For he saw that evil was determined against him by the king. When the king returned from the palace to the garden, to the place of the banquet of wine, Haman had fallen across the couch where Esther was. Then the king said, will he also assault the queen while I'm in the house? So he said, now you've fallen on the couch next to my wife. What you finna do? Will he also do this in front of me, in front of my wife, in my house? Like, he's not playing. Will he also assault the queen while I'm in the house? Like, as the word left the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. They covered his face. Now, it's the name of the Bible. One of the king's top people said to the king, look, the gallows, 50 cubits, which Haman made for Mordecai, who spoke good on king's behalf, is standing at the house of Haman. Oh, they are not about to hang him on his own thing that he created. They are not about to do that to him. That's crazy. So they hang Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then the king's wrath subsided. Dang, Haman. They hung you on a thing that you created to hang Mordecai on. Dang, Haman. So, guys, we're actually going to stop right there. I hope y'all are following along with me, and I hope I'm able to explain and read. I know I can't read a lot of names in here, but I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down. We're going to do chapter 8 tomorrow. Queen Esther saves the Jews. I'm so excited to see what she does. And get my little thing here. Bible study with Marlene, signing out.